All right, guys, I made you all upset, and that's great. And I'm right, of course. Even my wife got a little triggered by my post. So now let me take the time to explain to you why I'm right and you need to listen to me. I know that made you guys pumped to hear that. All right, so I made a tweet the other day. It was maybe either Thursday or Friday last week, and we are on Monday of this week, on why fancy facilities are dumb. And I'll tell you what made me think about this. So Iowa obviously is a new wrestling room costing $25 million. Iowa State was gonna build a brand new one costing many, many millions of dollars. So that's kind of specifically what I'm referring to as these multi-million-dollar projects. But the feedback and comments were kind of hilarious to me because you guys are wrong. You're just simply wrong. So let me ask you one question right now. Name me, pretty please, anyone in the comments, name me one program who got a new facility, brand new stuff, and you saw their performance go up. It's never happened. You can't name one. But according to your guys' logic, well, if we got really, really nice new facilities, we'd all of a sudden get better recruits and our program would be better. But that doesn't happen. You guys can't name a program who got a new room and they got better. You say, Ohio State. Listen, Ohio State won national titles before they got the Covelli Center. Is it nice? Of course, right? But they were good prior to that. That did not cause a change in the program, right? Minnesota, same. You could argue even maybe their results are a little bit worse. Minnesota's doing a good job, but they obviously won some national titles in the old room, not in the new one yet. So you guys can't point to one. You cannot point to a singular program that got new facilities and it changed the trajectory of what their program was, right? They were like a 18th ranked program consistently and then boom, all of a sudden they went to number 6. Didn't happen. All right, argument number 2. How many times you ever hear Cale talk about facilities? This is one of the most successful programs in college sports today. I don't know. Listen, I listen to a lot of what Cale says. I never heard him talk about facilities. They have a nice wrestling room. Would it be number 1? No, I don't think so. Would it be top 5? Maybe it would, right? Potentially. But they don't ever talk about facilities. Why? Because it's not all that relevant. And if facilities were the dictator of who was good and who wasn't good, right, the person with the nicest facilities would be talking about their facilities a lot. And that just doesn't happen. I've never, ever, not one time, heard Cale talk about how much better his facilities are than other people's facilities. All right, number 3. Well, the obvious is it's coaching, dummies. It's coaching. So now listen, I asked you on question number 1 to provide me one example of a program who got a new facility, really fancy, nice things, and then went like this, right? Upwards trajectory. You can't do it, I'm sure. I'm sure none of you guys have good examples in the comments, 0 of them. But I can provide you with plenty of them who got a coaching change. And all of a sudden the program went like this. Okay, well let's start. Cale, I mentioned Cale. Penn State was kind of a good program. They had some up and down results. They got Cale, boom, right? They go up. Ohio State, same thing. They were like kind of pretty good. They got Tom Ryan, boom, they went up. Michigan and Sean Bourmet, boom, they went up. Arizona State and Zeke Jones, same thing. Pat Popolizio, and see, guys, we could continue. Brian Smith in Missouri, Rob Cole at Cornell. We could continue on through times. Coaching is what matters. Coaching's what matters, okay? And so we can see an inflection point. With these programs, when they got new coaches, you can see a very clear inflection point. They were on average down here, and then they jump up, and now all of a sudden on average, they're here. You can see an inflection point with the coaching. The coaching's what matters. And so now, let's get down to this. Every Division I college wrestling program is operating at a loss, okay? None of them are making money. It kind of sucks, I get it, right? None of them make money. And now you want them to raise money for the RTC. And now you want them to raise money for NIL. And now you want them to raise money for a facility also, right? And so if they're not raising their money on their own, they're asking the college to get it for them. Well, now think about a college athletic directory saying, okay, I have 20 whatever sports. There's probably only 3 that are making money. All the women's ones are losing making money, but we can't touch those because of Title IX. And okay, so men's sports, a bunch of them are losing money. Oh, wrestling keeps bugging us for a $10 million facility. They already lose $500,000 a year and they want $10 million more to build a facility because they think for some reason it's gonna make a difference, right? It's gonna be a magical formula, poof, new facilities, and all of a sudden they're good. Yeah, like that happens. You guys still haven't provided me an example of when that's happened. So given the fact that they're all operating at losses, and they're all trying to fundraise for RTC and NIL, why do they need to fundraise for a new fancy wrestling room also when it actually doesn't matter, okay? Then on top of this, you think, okay, $10 million, well, Iowa's wrestling room cost 25, allegedly, right? And not to mention, listen, Iowa State has had that other wrestling room for very many years, and they've had plenty of success in that. I don't know that this one is gonna change the trajectory of the program, but, okay, well, let's say a $10 million facility, which is, it's kind of a really nice facility. Probably what these colleges are going to do if they build some type of standalone. Well, if you just put the $10 million in some treasury bonds, some type of safe investment, you could be pulling out $500,000 for your NIL and RTC programs to fund those without even touching the principal, right? Without even touching the $10 million. So instead of spending on a facility, maybe you're, using that to fund your program. Maybe if it's for a rainy day fund, so if a program does come under threat, you have plenty of money to save the program. Okay. All right. So if you're not convinced yet, I mean, look at this. Yeah, we should pan around to see this very humble wrestling room that we're in. We don't have NIL. We don't have scholarships. We don't have strength and conditioning. We don't have a sports psychologist. We don't have any of that stuff. And yet, our high school team, AWA's high school team, would have beat plenty of the college teams in the country last year. Our college guys finished 4th in the country if you add them up, right? And so I go back to all those guys I pointed to, whether it was Bourmet or Papalizio or Zeke Jones or Tom Ryan or Cale Sanderson, Brian Smith at Mizzou, Rob Cole at Cornell. We could point to coaching is what matters. Facilities don't matter. They might be nice, they might be cute, but facilities, and I said this in a tweet, facilities are a sales crutch for coaches who don't have anything better to sell. That's it. And I guess I think I already said this is the last point I'd make, but I'm gonna make one more. If I'm a college coach, I'm gonna say, listen, I'm gonna coach you really well. I'm gonna care about you a lot. I'm gonna do what's right by you. Sure, we don't have the fanciest wrestling room, but we can make champions without that. And give me those kids. Listen, the kids that say, ooh, they don't have a nice wrestling room, good, go somewhere else. You don't have the same value system as me, and I don't really want you on the team. I want the kids who are mature enough at 17, because this takes a lot of maturity at 17. I'm 17, and listen, some of you guys are 37, you still haven't figured this out. You want to spend, this is America, we're $34 trillion in debt, for God's sakes. $34 trillion, I don't even know how we're gonna pay that back. It's probably impossible. It's probably a debt spiral, which is why you should be buying Bitcoin. That's a whole nother video. Anyways, so most of you guys, even at 37, haven't figured out how to stop keeping up with the Joneses, how to keep spending money that you don't have, how to just keep thinking you want the new, nice, fancy shit, but you can't actually afford it. Yeah, so the kids at 17 who are mature enough to say, I want the coach who knows how to coach wrestling and knows how to treat me really well, because those are the things that are valuable to me, I'll take that kid all day long. And you know what? I'll get a room full of them. Well, we have a room full of them here at AWA, and guess what? I'll coach them up really well. Give me a dog shit room, I'll be top 10 in the country in 2 years. Give me a dog shit. I don't even need a good room. In the beginning I was saying like average room. Give me a bad room. Can we pan around to our room right now? Look at this room. This room. Oh, it is very, very humble. This room. If I got to keep the kids in college, we'd be top 10 next year. Mitchell Mesterbrand, Keegan O'Toole, Aiden Sinclair, Parker. That might be top 5. That might be top 3. I don't know. Okay? Fancy facilities don't matter. And if my video didn't get through your thick skull, then I'm sorry. You can keep trying to keep up with the Joneses and spending money you don't have and caring about nice fancy shit. But in my worldview, that stuff is in fact irrelevant.